We're going to Erev Shabbos, everyone. Erev Shabbos, Parshas Balak. The incredible story of Bilaam standing up to curse the Jewish people and not being able to curse them. But every curse turned into a bracha, every curse turned into a blessing. There are so many lessons to learn from this parsha, from every word in this parsha. There are so many fundamental principles and concepts. But just look at the parsha itself. And just from the makeup of the parsha, from the writing of the parsha, there's something to learn, which I think underlies every single message and every single thing in this parsha. And that is that there are no psuchas and stumas, there are no openings in this parsha, there are no paragraph breaks. There's a lot of different events. There's scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, scene 4. But there's no breaks. Normally you'll find in the parsha in the Torah that you have psuchos, stumos, different types of spacings in the Torah, but there's no spacing. It's all one, just column after column. And you have to wonder why it's that way. And I think that the simple reason why it's that way, because it's sending us a very, very powerful message. Chofetz Chaim and many other commentaries ask the question that how is it possible that Bilaam could go through such a thing and not be moved? They go through such an experience of trying to curse the Jewish people, and it turns into a blessing where God says to him, don't go, and then God says to him, go. And then where his donkey talks to him, just event after event after event in the Parsha. And in the end, he still wants to take these Jews down. He didn't change one iota. How can he go through an experience like this and not be moved? Because it's a very simple thing. There were no psuchas and stumas in his life. There were no openings. There were no breaks. There were no spaces. There was no moment that he took to sit back and to analyze and to take it all in and to process everything that was happening. Because that's why there are psuchas and stumas in the Torah, that there are moments that God gave Moshe Rabbeinu to process. I just told you something fundamental. Moshe processed this. Take it in. Wash it through yourself, understand it, and then we'll move on to the next thing. And this parsha has no psuchas and stumas to send us the message that how do you become a Bilaam? You just don't pay attention to what's going on around you. We describe, when it comes to the advisors of Paro, that didn't listen to the messages that were going on. Say the people that listened to the message were the people that were Yorias Hashem, that feared God, and the ones that didn't listen to the message was Shelo Sam Libo. Not the ones who didn't fear God, but the ones who didn't pay attention. And the Medrash says, who was it describing? It was describing Bilaam, because he was essentially a person who just didn't pay attention to what was going on around him. He never paused to reflect. And my friends, that's, I think, the most powerful message of this parsha. That everything looks different when you stop to think about it. When you sleep on something, then that insult that a person gave to you looks differently. That failure in everything that you tried to do and you failed at, it looks different when you have a chance to process and to analyze and to look at it. Everything that we want and everything that we do, everything that we experience, it just becomes different when you reflect it. And that's what the Parsha is teaching me. That's what Bilaam is teaching me. Stop and smell the roses. Force yourself to stop and to analyze and to think and ask questions. Why is my life going this way? Why are things happening this way? Why is this going on? There are messages being sent to me every minute of the day. What's being sent to me? How am I supposed to read all of this? How am I supposed to understand all of this? How am I supposed to understand myself? But when we just put our eyes down and we just keep plodding through the world, we're missing everything. Growth only happens when there are psuchas and stumas in our lives. When there are openings, there are spaces. Take those moments, reflect, think, process, grow, and enjoy everything around you. That's the greatest lesson that Bilaam can teach us. Have a wonderful, amazing Shabbos. and stop to smell the chulent.